Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. RHONJ, why did Dina Manzo's ex get a 7-year prison sentence? When viewers first started watching Real Housewives of New Jersey, it's unlikely anyone knew what was in store for Dina Manzo's ex-husband. Thomas Manzo was just hit with a prison sentence of 7 years behind bars. Any amount of time spent behind bars is a big deal, but some fans think Thomas deserves more years. What exactly did Thomas do to be given this sentence in the first place? These are the details, along with what fans are saying about this entire scandal. Thomas Manzo may serve 7 years in prison. The charges against Thomas are serious. The press release via Us Weekly states that Thomas is doing time for hiring, then assisting, a soldier in the Luch's crime family to assault a man named David Canton. David happens to be Dina's current husband. This crime took place back in 2015, but Thomas is barely facing the music for it now. U.S. Attorney Philip R. Selinger had zero patience for Thomas when making his announcement. He said, "For clarity, Dina and Thomas first separated in 2012. Their divorce wasn't finalized until 2016 though. She tied the knot with David a year after the divorce finalization in 2017. Real Housewives of New Jersey fans are bothered by this scandal. People who've been keeping up with episodes of Real Housewives of New Jersey aren't amused by any of this drama. The idea that Thomas would hire someone to cause David harm is a haunting one. Needless to say, it's nothing viewers have taken lightly. Some have even shared their brutally honest thoughts on Reddit. I believe cops didn't finally put the puzzle pieces together until 2021. Then because the pandemic was still going on, so many cases got delayed. I'm just glad justice was served. I was hoping he'd get more time, but at least Dina can finally have some peace. What a disgusting crime. Something stinks ugly in that family. Can they add a 0 behind the 7 because it's been like 10 years since the incident happened, and he needs to be in there for a long time. He'll be out in about 3+ years. Sigh. Our criminal justice system is more justice for the criminal system. The majority of comments are from social media users who wish Thomas would be given more time behind bars. On the flip side, there are also several fans who feel a great deal of relief for Dina in light of this latest update. In a shocking turn of events in 2021, Dina Manzo's ex-husband, Tommy Manzo, was sentenced to 7 years in prison, marking the climax of a dramatic and unsettling chapter in the life of the former Real Housewives of New Jersey RHONJ star. Tommy Manzo's involvement in organized crime activities, particularly his role in a violent attack against Dina and her now husband, David Canton, has left fans of the Bravo reality show both horrified and intrigued. The story of why Dina's ex-husband received such a severe prison sentence is filled with betrayal, jealousy, and an underlying connection to a notorious New Jersey crime family. The RHONJ connection. For fans of RHONJ, Dina Manzo is best remembered as the fun-loving, family-oriented cast member with an eye for design and an aura of spirituality. Dina was part of the Manzo family, which became one of the centerpieces of the early seasons of the show. She was married to Tommy Manzo, brother of Caroline Manzo's husband Albert. This close-knit connection added layers of family dynamics to the show. However, what played out on-screen was only the surface of a much darker reality. Dina and Tommy's marriage had its struggles, and the couple eventually divorced in 2016 after more than a decade together. Dina found love again with businessman David Canton, and the two tied the knot in 2017, but it wasn't a happily ever after ending as one might expect. Instead, Dina and David's relationship became the target of a violent attack that would ultimately send Tommy Manzo to prison. The attack that shook Dina Manzo's world. In May 2017, just a month after Dina and David had exchanged vows, the newlyweds were brutally assaulted in their home in New Jersey. According to reports, 2 masked men entered their home, tied up the couple, and viciously beat David with a baseball bat while Dina was punched repeatedly. The attackers then fled, leaving behind a trail of terror and confusion. Initially, the crime seemed like a random act of violence, but as investigators delved deeper, a far more sinister plot was uncovered, one that would eventually implicate Tommy Manzo himself. The assault, as it turned out, wasn't random at all. In fact, it was orchestrated by Tommy in a jealous rage over Dina's new relationship. The attack was a premeditated attempt to hurt and intimidate Dina and her new husband, carried out with the help of a man named John Perna, a known associate of the Lucas crime family. Perna, it was revealed, had been hired by Tommy to carry out the attack in exchange for a deeply troubling favor: a lavish, mafia-funded wedding reception at a restaurant owned by Tommy. The mafia connection. Tommy Manzo's ties to organized crime played a significant role in his eventual downfall. His decision to partner with John Perna, a man with well-established mafia connections, exposed the darker side of his character and set the stage for his conviction. Perna, a soldier in the infamous Lucas crime family, had a reputation for carrying out dirty work, and Tommy's request for a violent attack fit perfectly into the world of mafia favors and payoffs. According to court documents, Tommy had orchestrated the entire plot to have Perna take care of his ex-wife's new husband. In return, Perna was rewarded with a lavish wedding reception in 2015 at the Brownstone, a restaurant and banquet hall co-owned by Tommy and his brother, Albert Manzo. The Brownstone, which frequently appeared on RHONJ, became a symbol of the intersection between Tommy's family business and his criminal dealings. Perna carried out the attack on Dina and David Canton with chilling precision, fulfilling his end of the bargain. It wasn't until years later, after a thorough investigation, that the authorities were able to piece together the connections and bring Tommy Manzo to justice. The trial and sentencing. As the details of the attack and Tommy Manzo's involvement came to light, it was clear that this was no simple crime of passion. The premeditated nature of the attack, coupled with Tommy's mafia connections and the brutal violence inflicted on Dina and David, led prosecutors to seek a substantial sentence. During the trial, it was revealed that Tommy Manzo had hired Perna out of jealousy and a desire to retaliate against Dina for moving on with her life. The attack was meant to intimidate her and her new husband, but it also showcased the deep, toxic bitterness Tommy harbored after their divorce. His willingness to involve a member of organized crime in such a personal vendetta demonstrated a callous disregard for the law and the safety of others. The prosecution painted Tommy as a dangerous individual who had not only orchestrated a violent crime but also exploited his ties to the mafia to do so. This, combined with his attempts to cover up his involvement in the attack, sealed his fate in the courtroom. Ultimately, Tommy Manzo was convicted of conspiracy to commit a violent crime and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Dina's reaction and moving forward. For Dina Manzo, the sentencing of her ex-husband marked the end of a long and painful chapter. Though she has largely stayed out of the public eye since leaving RHONJ, Dina's life has been shadowed by the aftermath of the attack. The trauma of the violent incident, coupled with the public scrutiny surrounding her ex-husband's trial, took a significant toll on her. Dina and David Canton have moved on as best they can, focusing on healing and living a peaceful life. The couple has remained private about their ordeal, but they have shared glimpses of their journey toward recovery. For Dina, who has always emphasized the importance of family and spirituality, this experience has likely deepened her commitment to living a life free of drama and negativity. The broader impact on RHONJ. While Tommy Manzo's sentencing brought closure to a tragic and violent episode, it also cast a shadow over the RHONJ franchise. The Manzo family, once a beloved part of the show's cast, now found themselves associated with a criminal scandal that rocked the reality TV world. Though Caroline Manzo and her family had long since left the show, their ties to Tommy, and by extension to Dina, couldn't be ignored. In a surprising twist, Caroline Manzo wrote a letter of support for her brother-in-law, Tommy, during the trial. This move was met with backlash from fans and stirred up rumors of a deeper rift between the Manzo family and Dina. Caroline's decision to stand by Tommy, despite the evidence of his involvement in the attack, only fueled speculation about the complex family dynamics at play behind the scenes of the reality show. Conclusion. A dark chapter closed. The sentencing of Tommy Manzo to 7 years in prison closes one of the most disturbing chapters in the history of RHONJ. The violent attack on Dina Manzo and her husband David Canton, orchestrated by a man with ties to organized crime, shocked fans and highlighted the dark side of reality TV fame.